Hello, how are you? In this video, I will teach you from the diary of Anne Frank. This is second part, and if you are interested to know more about this lesson, you should see the first part of diary from the diary of Anne Frank. Okay, so as you know, this is the story of Anne Frank. Anne Frank is a Jewish girl, and her sister's name is Margot. She is 16 years old. Her mother's name is Edith Frank Hollander, and her father is Otto Frank. Okay, you should know that Annie Frank, her mother, her sister, and her four friends, all of them were in a secret place at Amsterdam, which is in Netherlands. And during Second World War, Nazi Party caught them because they were Jews, and they took them to the concentration camp and they killed them. Okay, it simply means that there was only one person who survived was her father, Otto Frank. And Otto Frank decided, Otto Frank got a diary in that place. That diary was written by Annie Frank. The name of the diary was Kitty. The name was given by Annie Frank. And her father saw the diary, he found it, and he read it and he decided to publish it. And the name of the diary or name of the novel was The Diary of a Young Girl. It was very famous, very popular. Okay, so in this uh, lesson, we will read about Annie Frank's description, Annie Frank, and this is an extract from the diary of a young girl. Okay, so as you know, Annie Frank decided to write a diary. Okay, let us start the lesson. Writing in a diary is a really strange experience for someone like me. Not only because I have never written anything more before, but also because it seems to me that later on neither I nor anyone else will be interested in the musings of a 13-year-old schoolgirl. You should know that writing is really a strange experience for any friend. It doesn't mean that he is going to write first time. It was not the matter. But what was the matter? What does he think? He thinks that no one will take interest in reading the diary of 13 years old girl. And who is 13 years old girl? It is Annie Frank. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I feel like writing. I feel like writing, and I have an even greater need to get all kinds of things off my chest. So what was the matter? So he decided to write a diary, and in that diary he will express her all feelings, all inner working of mind, whatever she thinks she would like to express it, she would like to write it in her diary. Paper has more patience than people. Now this is important line for you. You should know the meaning of this sentence. Paper has more patience than people. It simply means that you will get your friend, you have your friend, you will tell your problem for 5, 10, 6 minutes, half hour, more than 2, 3 hours. But only in paper you can express all the things, and it will not disturb you. Whatever you want to say to paper, paper will simply accept it. So but if you will tell your problem to your brother, sister, or anyone, how much time will you tell to them? You can't tell them more than 1 to 3 hours. But in paper, you will be able to tell everything as much as you can. I thought of this thing on one of those days when I was feeling a little depressed and was sitting at home with my chin in my hand, bored and listless. Okay, wondering whether to stay in or go out. Now he was thinking what should he do. He was uh, a little bit he was unhappy. He was sad. Okay, and she thought what to do. Should he stay in home or should he go out of her home? I finally stayed where I was boarding. Yes, paper does have more patience, and since I am not planning to let anyone else read this step back notebook grandly referred to as a diary unless I should never find a real friend and probably won't make a bit of a difference. So now she says, she says she will not go out of her house, she will stay in the same place and she is going to write everything in her diary because papers have more patience. Okay, and and the paper, the diary has stiff back, means covered with hard cover. Okay, so a diary will be a real friend. Okay, now I am back to the point that promoted me to keep a diary in the first place. I don't have a friend. Okay, so now she says that she will write a diary. It doesn't mean that she doesn't or she has no friends. Okay, she has her elder sister Margot. She is of 16 years old. She has mother and father. Okay, so so to them she can tell everything. Let me put it more clearly, since no one will believe that a 13 years old girl is completely alone in the world, and I am not. I have loving parents and 16-year-old sister, and there are about 30 people I can call friends. Okay, except her sister Margot, except her father, Otto Frank. Okay, except her mother. Uh, she has she knows she knows more than 30 people. To them, she can call her friends. I have a family, loving aunts, and a good home. No, on the surface, I seem to have everything except my one true friend, and all of them are very close to them. But she needs a friend. All I think about when I am with friends is having a good time. I can't bring myself to talk about anything but ordinary, everyday things. Or she's not going to write anything special in her diary, but but she will write. Okay, she can't bring myself to talk about anything but ordinary, everyday things. We don't seem to be able to get any closer, and that is the problem. Maybe it is my fault that we don't confide in each other. In any case, that is just how things are, and unfortunately, they are not liable to change. This is why I started to write it. So there are many factors which compel any friend to write a diary. Okay, and because only diary is liable to her. Okay, and she can't express everything to anyone except her diary. To enhance the image of a long-awaited friend in my imagination, I don't want to jot down the facts in this diary the way most people would do. But I want the diary to be my friend, and I'm going to call this uh, friend Kitty. Okay, so you should know that this was diary was her long-awaited friend. What does it mean? It simply means that she did not get anything or anything to express his whole ideas. Okay, so only diary will be her soul, her only friend. So she decided to write a diary, and she named it Kitty. Okay, since no one would understand a word my story to Kitty if I were plunged right in, I would better provide a brief sketch of my life, much as I dislike doing so. So he says that in this diary he is going to write everything. Okay, second thing, he likes it to give a brief sketch of her life. Okay, but she does not like it more. Okay, my father, the most terrible father I have ever seen, didn't marry my mother until she was 36, and until he was 36. And so now anything says about her father and mother. Her father was 36-year old, and her mother was 25 years old. At that age, both of them married. Okay, so uh, her mother's name was Edith Hollander Frank. She also went to Holland in September. Okay, and now, and you should know her father also went to Holland. Okay, so now here to Annie Frank and her elder sister Margot were with their grandmother. Margot went to Holland. Margot also went to Holland in December. Okay, and I followed in February. In February, she also left for Holland. Annie Frank also left for Holland. Okay, I was plugged down on the table as a birthday present for Margot. Okay, so she kept the birthday present given by Margot. I started right away at Montessori Nursery School. I stayed there until I was 6, at which time I started in my first form. Okay, so here anything says that she was in Montessori Nursery School, and she stayed there three three classes, okay, and her age was 6, okay, 6 years old, okay, and when she was in first class in the sixth from my teacher of cover Kupresh, the headmistress. At the end of the year, both were in tears as we said a heartbreaking farewell. And after, when she was in class 6, she had to leave the school, and there was her mistress, Mrs. Kupresh, and both of them are intimately connected. Both of them know each other, and that was at the time of departure. They have a heartbreaking farewell. In summer 1941, Grandma fell ill and had to have an operation, so birthday passed with little celebration. And you should know in 1941, Anish Frankenma fell ill and she has to undergo an operation. And on that year, birthday celebration was not in good way. It was simple way. Grandma died in January 1942, and that very grandma died in 1942. No one knows how often I think of her and still love her. This birthday celebration in 1942 was intended to make up for other, and grandma's candle was lit along with the rest. Okay, as you know, her grandma had died in 1942 because there was an operation, and but she loved her. Any friend loved her. Okay, and in 1942 birthday celebration, there is also a candle lit along with the rest candle. Okay, the four of us are still doing well. Four of us means uh, Annie Frank, Margot, and her mother Edith Hollander Frank, and her father Otto Frank. Though all of them are doing well, and that brings me to the present date of 20 June 1942 and the solemn dedication of my diary. And this was a dedication to her diary. Okay, now let us start the diary. As you know, any friend named her Kitty. Dear Kitty, our entire class is quaking in books. The reason of course is the forthcoming meeting in which the teacher decides who will move up to the next pod and who will be kept back. Okay? So you should know the whole class was quaking. It was quaking means shaking with fear and nervousness to dragging shoes, okay, on the floor, and that was there was a loud noise. Okay, and what was the reason? The reason was your forthcoming meeting. Forthcoming meeting simply means parents teacher meeting, and the result will be declared. And in this, someone will pass the examination, some will be kept in the same class. Okay, that was the reason. Half of the class is making bets, and they were making bets because nobody knows who will pass, who will be kept in the same class. JN and I laugh ourselves silly at the two boys behind us, CN and Jacob, who have staked their entire holiday savings on their bed. From morning to night, it is you are going to pass. No, I am not. Yes, you are. No, I am not. Okay. So look here. Here, any friend presents the description of her friend. Okay, half of the class were making weight. One thing, Jane. This is the name of the classmate of any friend. Jane and any friend were laughing. Okay, because two boys sitting behind them. They were talking. They were Jane and Jacob, and though both of them have saved money for their bed. Okay, in holidays they did not spend money, they kept money for their bed. Okay, from morning to night, they were telling you will pass, you will not pass. This was going on. Even G apostrophe pleading glances and my angry outburst cannot calm them down. Okay, G is the name. Okay, and they were saying, and they were watching everything. Okay, and anything became angry, but she can't stop herself. If you ask me, there are so many dummies that about a quarter of the class should be kept back, but teachers are the most unpredictable teacher on the earth. Okay? She says, uh, she says, in fact, describes that in the class there were so many dummies. Dummies means weak students, not intelligent. Okay, in the whole class, they must be kept back. Okay, and one thing was there, nobody knows about teacher. Teachers can keep anyone in the same class. Teacher can promote anyone in the next class. But because teachers are the most unpredictable teacher simply means that no one can say what will happen. Okay, I'm not so worried about my girlfriend and myself. We will make it. The only subject I am not sure about is math. Anyone all we can do it is wait, okay, until we keep telling each other not to lose heart, okay. So Annie Frank and her friends and both were happy because they were sure they will pass the class, they will be promoted to next class. But one thing that strikes Annie Frank's mind was mathematics. In mathematics, she was not sure, okay. And but however, what can do? They will have to wait for the declaration of result, okay. Okay, so I get along pretty well with all my teachers. There are nine of them, seven men and two women. Mr. Kissing, the old foggy who teaches math was annoyed with me for ages because I talked so much. Okay, now look here. All that now, anything says that all the teachers are very pretty. They are really very adorable. But there are nine teachers in her school. Seven of them are men and two of them are women. Okay, and Mr. Kissing, he was an old-fashioned man. He was very fat, and he is the mathematics teacher. That was a problem for any Frank. Okay, because he was teaching. Her mathematics teacher was annoyed with her. Okay, yes. Why? Because she talked too much in her class. A chatterbox. After several warnings, he assigned me extra homework and essay on the subject. A chatterbox. A chatterbox. What can you write about that? Okay, I would like. Uh, I would worry about her. Later, I decided I jot down the little in my notebook tucked in my bag and try to keep quiet. Okay, so listen to me. See, Mr. Kissing warned Kitty to stop talking, to stop this habit, but there was no change in any Frank's behavior. She continued talking. She she was busy in chatting with her friend, even in the presence of her class teacher, Mr. Kissing. So Mr. Kissing decided to give him extra homework. What was the subject of the homework? A chatterbox. Chatterbox was the topic on which any Frank has to write. Okay, so she was waiting. When she returned back, she thought what to do. And lastly, she kept everything in the bag and left the place. That evening, after I had finished the rest of homework and the note about the essay caught my eyes. I began thinking about the subject while chewing the tip of fountain pen. Anyone could ramble on and leave big spaces between the words, but the trick was to come up with convincing argument to prove the necessity of talking. Okay, so in the evening, in the evening, when Annie Frank finished her homework, he saw the topic give or assigned by Mr. Kissing. Okay, a chatterbox. Okay, she kept the phone on her tips and she kept the tip of the fountain and chewing it. Okay, so first of all, he decided to write the essay leaving big space. Okay, but that technique was not suitable for him. I thought I suddenly had an idea. I wrote the 3 pages about Mr. Kissing had assigned me and was satisfied. And when he did not come to any conclusion, he wrote anything in 3 pages and and you know and yeah. But Mr. Kissing was not satisfied to see her essay. I urged that talking is a student's trait and that I could do my best to keep it under control. Okay, he says this is the trait of a student. This is the property of a student. He will talk or she will talk. Okay, Uh, it can't be cured. Okay, because her mother, Elephant's mother, was very talkative. She was just like a chatterbox. Okay, and this trait has come to her from her mother. She can't control it. Okay, Mr. Kissing had a good laugh at my argument, but when I proceeded to talk my way through the next lesson, he assigned me the second essay. The time I was stopped to be an incorrigible chatterbox. Okay, but what happens? Mr. Kissing again provided her extra homework. The topic was an incorrigible chatterbox. It simply means that which can't be corrected. Okay, it's okay. So Mr. Kissing again gave her extra homework. I handed it in, and Mr. Kissing had nothing to complain about for two whole lessons. However, during the third lesson, I had finally had enough. Anything as a punishment for talking in the class, write an essay. Quick, 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 said Mistress Chatterbox. And again, Mr. Kissing was not satisfied. He gave her another topic to write. Quick, 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 said Mistress Chatterbox. Okay, this was the topic. So the 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 class wrote after getting this topic. The whole class roared. They burst into laughter. It was because again Mr. Kissing had given her the topic, and you should know anything did not change her habit. She used to talk in the class. And Mr. Kissing did not like it. Okay, the class roared. I had to laugh too, though I had nearly exhausted my integrity on the topic of chatterbox. Okay, it was time it to come up with something else, something original. My friend Senia, who is a good poet, who is good at poetry, offered to help me write the essay for beginning to the end in verse, and jumped for joy. So she decided to write on this topic, but she did not come to any conclusion. So any friend consulted her friend Xian. Okay, she was good at poetry, and she supported any friend to write on the topic in the form of verse, in the form of poetry, and jumped. Uh, and I jumped for joy. Mr. Kissing was trying to play a joke on me with ridiculous subject, but I would make sure the joke was on him. So what was the? She wrote it in very good manner, and Mr. Kissing wanted to play joke on anything, but anything, on the other hand, made joke to Mr. Kissing. I finished my poem and it was beautiful. It was about a mother duck and father swan with three baby ducklings who were bitten to death by father because they quaked too much. Luckily, Mr. Kissing took the joke the right way. Okay, so there was a story. There was a swan and a duck. Okay, swan has three ducklings and they were quaking too much. Their father killed them. Okay, their father bite them and they died. Okay, so this was the story. And luckily, Mr. Kissing took the joke the right way. He read the poem to the class, adding his own comments and to several other classes as well. But what happens? Mr. Kissing was very happy. He was satisfied. He was satisfied with the story, so Mr. Kissing has taken it on the right way, and he ate something in where he ate some comments also, and he also read in different classes. So since then, I have been allowed to talk and haven't assigned any extra homework. And after then, anything continued her chatting. Okay, she did not get any extra homework. On the contrary, Mr. Kissing always making jokes these days. Opposite of this, Mr. Kissing making jokes these days, he became very friendly. He became very familiar. Okay, you would say nay. Okay. So thank you to all of you. So you should know I taught you the whole lesson. It will help you to understand. Okay. Have a nice day.